Hey guys, Tim here, Big Dog Forge. Welcome back to the shop. It's good to see you again. So we're going to do our last billet of braided Damascus, and this is going to be a little bit different. Same thing, same bar. We're just going to finish up with it, and we're just going to approach it in a little different manner. So hope you enjoy. It's a little bit of a short video. We're going to get through it quick, and we'll talk to you at the other end. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, we're doing a little recap here. You'll remember the braided steel that we did, wrought iron spring steel and W1, and we ended up forging it in two parts. We turned the first half of it into a billet, put it on a separate handle, and then turned our first video into braided bacon Damascus, as folks have been calling it. And now we're going to take the second half, which is this one. We're going to finish refining it and getting some of these voids out of it, notches, and we're pretty much just going to hammer it into a flat billet, square it off, and we're going to cut it into pieces and stack it. So it'll have, I wouldn't say the same pattern. It'll be pretty close to the same, but it'll be much more refined. It should have a lot more layers to it. So we went ahead and got it onto the surface grinder. There we go. And I cut it up. The first piece that you see putting into the vise there is actually a piece of 1084 steel to give it an edge. I'm sure someone or myself may turn this into a knife, and we want one edge that's constant with a good cutting edge on it. So we're going to add some 1084 to that side. We'll get this thing welded up on the ends. Get a handle on it. You'll notice that 1084 is a little wider than the rest of the billet. I took a little bit of that off with a grinder after I got this welded up to even it out a bit. Having those edges nice and even keeps you from getting cold shuts. There we go. And we'll get this thing into the fire. I got to do something with this forge. This is ridiculous. I need some doors. It needs to be relined. Well, let's get through this first. And this is our mix of steel powder and anhydrous borax. And with that scrappy, have at it to set that weld. And we did this 3 times and worked it down a little bit. Drew it out. Make sure those welds were set nice and tight. There were no voids in this thing at all. I kept it at a pretty high welding temperature just to make sure. And of course I brushed and fluxed it between each go around on the power hammer. And then we got it over to Floyd to press, where we drew it out. I've got a little rod over there that I'm using as a kiss block. That's actually a 3/8, and then I'll grind it to about 1/4 of an inch thick so we can see where our pattern is. Nope, break time. Yum. Okay, back to work, you lazy bum. Alright, so we're just squaring everything up with the just the flatters on Floyd, and we'll get this thing cooled off on the anvil. Get into the surface grinder. Now, I typically flux these things one last time, and I'll get them into the forge, bring them up to welding temperature, get it over to the anvil, and that flux helps get all of that extra scale off the outside. And you pretty much brush it until it's cool, and you got a lot less grinding to do. It's that scale and that flux that builds up on the outside of these. It's pretty hard stuff, and they lead up grinding belts, so I tend to use the flux to remove it. There we go. So this is a picture of the original bacon Damascus, and I'll give you a comparison here to take a look at. There you go. A few more layers, a little more refined, and the stripes in this one go all the way through. You can see those sort of sparkly layers in there. That's that refined wrought iron. Gives it a really cool kind of a look. So the bottom edge of this is a solid piece of 1084. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you think about it, like, share, subscribe. And in these weird times that we're living in, you know, if you don't have anything else to do and you're sitting at home, a couple of hundred videos right here at Big Dog Forge you can watch. And take care of yourselves. Be safe. Make sure keep an eye out for the family, especially the old folks like me. All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for everything. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now. Be safe.